The students I teach are generally between 19 and 23-ish. They've come of age in an era where they've had nearly unlimited access to the internet, which means that most have spent their formative years consuming online media that by and large is totally uncensored. Thus, my students have a much different idea of what's decent when compared to someone who grew up in, say, the 1970s. Although attitudes in the United States have almost certainly changed with regard to what is and isn't decent, the FCC has not changed. The FCC upholds decency standards. These standards govern broadcast television and radio, but do not cover cable, satellite, or internet providers. The FCC standards deal with two concepts, obscenity and indecency. Let's start with obscenity. The FCC puts materials to a three-pronged test to determine if it's obscene. Part 1 of the test, does the material appeal to someone sexually? 2, does the material depict in a patently offensive way sexual conduct? And does the material as a whole lack serious artistic, political, or scientific value? This is obscenity. Now, indecency is a bit different. Indecency is material that passes the obscenity test, but is still patently offensive, like graphic descriptions of sexual conduct, as opposed to graphic depictions of sexual conduct. You see, the subtle distinction here is if it's a graphic description, it's indecent. If it's a graphic depiction, it's obscene. This is important in that obscenity is not protected by the First Amendment and is never allowed to be broadcast. But indecency is prohibited only from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. on broadcast radio and television. Now, these standards are vague and have resulted in several controversial Supreme Court rulings. For example, after Janet Jackson had her notable wardrobe malfunction at the halftime show at Super Bowl 38, the FCC was under pressure to clamp down on so-called indecency on the air. The FCC also began to crack down on the occasional profane word one might hear when someone bumps their knee. On the street, such language is commonplace. However, on air, these words could cost the network hundreds of thousands of dollars in penalties per occurrence. Justice John Paul Stevens summed up the odd nature of censorship and decency standards in America. He stated, quote, "It is ironic that while the FCC patrols the airwaves for words that have a tenuous relationship with sex or excrement, commercials broadcast during prime time ask viewers whether or not they are battling erectile dysfunction or having trouble going to the bathroom." So now you know some basics about decency. If you have something to share, decent or not, check out the TateBarkleyProgram.com.